AITA for calling out my GF's Tradwife dreams as disrespectful to our relationship. I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. My girlfriend and I have been together for over 2 years now, and at the start, everything was going smoothly. I had just finished college and was settling into adult life with a decent job. She, on the other hand, was just beginning her journey in college, slightly later than most, but that didn't matter to me. We clicked, had fun together, and I appreciated every moment we shared. From the beginning, I always took care of things. I had a car, a steady income, and no problem picking her up to hang out or go on dates. She didn't have a car or a job at that point, so I covered most of the expenses. I enjoyed treating her. I'd buy her gifts just because, not expecting anything in return, just to see her smile. For me, it was about making her happy, and that made me happy. But things started to shift recently. A few weeks ago, she finally got a car, thanks to her parents and uncle. I was thrilled for her. I thought this meant she could start driving to my place for a change, and we could switch up the routine a little. After all, I had been the one driving back and forth, spending a lot on gas. But to my surprise, when I brought it up, she flat out said no. She didn't want to drive to my place because she didn't want to waste miles on her new car. I was a bit stunned. I thought it was inconsiderate, especially after I had been driving us around for 2 years. When I pointed that out, she just brushed it off, saying I'd be fine since I made enough money to eventually replace my car if I needed to. That stung, but I let it go at the time, trying not to make a big deal out of it. Things took an even stranger turn a little while later when she sent me a TikTok video of one of those Tradwives. You know, the ones who stay at home while the man works and pays all the bills. I watched it with her and mentioned that while it looked nice, those videos tend to paint an unrealistic picture of life. I explained that not everyone can afford to live like that, and for most people, it's simply not practical. Her response shocked me. She said, "Women are just marrying the wrong men." At that moment, something inside me snapped. She went on to say that if I wasn't willing to pay all of her bills and let her stay at home, even if we didn't have kids, she was scared for our future. Now don't get me wrong, I have no issue with stay-at-home partners. I think being a homemaker is a valuable role when it makes sense for a family. But the way she framed it, it didn't seem like she wanted to be a partner. It felt more like she wanted to be taken care of, without contributing anything in return. She has always enjoyed being spoiled, and I've loved doing that for her. But this conversation made me realize she viewed me more as a means to an end than as a partner in a relationship. It was like she wanted a rich man to support her lifestyle, rather than someone she truly loved. And what hurt the most was that after 2 years of me doing everything I could for her, financially and emotionally, she still categorized me as one of those 50-50 guys. Even though I had been carrying the weight of the relationship the entire time. When I tried to talk to her about our future, explaining that I didn't think it was fair or realistic for her to expect me to pay for everything while she contributed nothing, she shut me down. She told me, "A woman should never pay for a man," as if that was the end of the conversation. That hurt me deeply, because it made me question if she even cared about me, or just what I could provide for her. I've always supported her, not just financially, but in every way. And to hear her dismiss all of that, simply because I wasn't rich enough to give her the lifestyle she wanted, made me feel unappreciated. After that conversation, I found it hard to talk to her normally. What made it worse was that I ended up being the one who had to apologize, even though I felt her expectations were unreasonable. She didn't seem to understand how much her words had hurt me. She even told me outright that a rich guy would always be the better option, which left me wondering if she truly saw me as someone she loved, or just as someone who wasn't rich enough yet. I later found out that her mother reinforces this mentality. Anytime we argue, she tells my girlfriend that she could easily find someone richer and better. It's disheartening to know that instead of working things out, she's being encouraged to leave for someone with a bigger bank account. It reached a point where I had to ask her, "Why not just leave me and find this rich guy you want?" She didn't take that well and accused me of trying to break up with her, when really, I was just trying to communicate how I felt. The more I think about it, the more I realize that I don't want to be in a relationship where love is conditional on how much money I have. I want a partner who values me for who I am, not just what I can provide financially. I've worked hard to get to where I am, and while I may not be rich, I have a solid career and a bright future. But I don't want to waste all of that just to support someone who doesn't see a future with me unless I'm wealthy enough to give her the lifestyle she wants. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for challenging this mentality? Am I wrong for wanting a partner and not just someone who expects to be taken care of like a trophy wife?